Live from HMD Studios for the first day of Black History Month, it is Stay Busy with Armon Sadler. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Stay Busy with Armon Sadler Remixed. We're here for Busy Sessions, Episode 3. It's the first day of Black History Month, so I'm feeling beautiful, black, melanated, hydrated. But we are here, as you know, we have responsible discussions on the music business and the music culture, and we bring in some incredible guests. And for Busy Sessions, we bring in some great artists. In the past, you've seen Reggie Becton and Eric Penn, and we got a great guy here as well. Before we get there, I am Armon Sadler, vegan chorizo poppy, founder of Bald Nigga Ballers, the real Armon Sadler, not those spam accounts. I'm here with my co-host. How you feeling, good brother?
What's up, y'all? Nic Earley, co-hosting, executive producing, always wearing some chucks. You know what it is. Today I'm the coconut water
consultant or connoisseur.
Coconut water consultant.
Better.
Yeah, connoisseur. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that means I can. I'm traversing different coconut waters and giving my opinions. I love it.
So we want to introduce to you our guest for this session. This is someone who I've known for a very long time, seen his growth throughout music. He burst onto the scene with his 2018 debut project, Homecoming, came back right in 2019 with the hottest summer EP. 2020 gave us the Quarantine Pack, and then 2021 is when he really hit niggas over the head with the project Hope You See Me. You might have heard some of his bigger records, seen them on Tidal playlists and Apple Music playlists such as Check In, Runner, Haitian Sensation, Good Brother of Alpha Phi Alpha, Fitness Guy, and your plate might have gotten slandered on his Instagram story, hashtag Plate Olympics. This is none other than Newburgh's own 845, Jacques Laine. Welcome to the show, Jacques. How you feeling, my brother?
Yo, what up? Appreciate that. That's a good intro.
Hey,
appreciate that.
I do this.
I appreciate the welcome. Happy to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Jacques Brothers, it's been a long time coming.
For sure.
Damn, I wish I had some AKA names. Jacques Laine, AKA Red Wine on Sundays, AKA Agua Poppy, my waves on swim. Are you dumb? We here.
So let's get right into it, man. How are you generally?
Good, man. I'm good. Just working on a lot of things right now. I'm constantly tired, but I'm just always tired now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, bro, I'm in a good space, working on a lot. I have a lot of ideas. I'm busy, so that's a blessing. If I'm sitting there doing nothing, then I'm in trouble. So yeah, bro.
Absolutely. So it's been about 8 months since you dropped Hope You See Me. We were at the art gallery. We saw, the rollout and just, the kind of the passion that you put into this project. What's been the reception for you, and like how do you feel looking back on it?
Yeah, the reception's been really good, man. And I think this is the first time I intentionally put a physical sort of event or live event around a project like that. And I don't know. I think streams and everything is dope, right? Like that's what you want. But seeing people like show up and like selling out shows and selling out art gallery, that's some shit that I haven't really seen niggas do before. Like that's what like really moves me, because then you build a stronger community, right? Mm. Like niggas can stream your songs and shit like that, but they don't really know you. They don't like feel you or your presence or like why you're doing anything. So having that community and having that support from different people that fuck with me and my music and me as an artist, like. That hit different. So it's been dope. Looking back, I love the execution. And at that point, that was the best music I could make. Mm-hmm. I'm making better music now, but that's just like how shit goes. But yeah, bro, I was very happy about it. Took a little break. And then, now I'm working on the next project. And I'm starting to think about rollouts more holistically now when it comes to my music. Like, what's the message? What's it going to look like? How does it show up to people when they listen? And then how can you connect to people differently through tech, music, live events, whatever. So yeah, bro.
There was some heavy stuff on the project. Tracks like Generational Curses, tracks like Village, Still Black, Darkness. I feel like this is the most personal that you've gotten, which is interesting because with Homecoming, you were really trying to tell the story of coming back to Newburgh after being at Penn and all that. Like, talk about kind of what inspired you to put Hope You See Me together and kind of convey the messages that you did.
Yeah. That's a good comparison because I felt like when I was writing that, I was back in that like more personal, open bag that I was at during Homecoming, where it's sort of just like raw storytelling, and then you pick beats, but like shit just comes out how it comes out. But yeah, I mean, I made that project not really just for myself, but Hope You See Me. The concept is really like people who feel as though their voices aren't heard, feel like they're not seen, etc. Like they're crying out for help, right? Like whatever situation you're in, a lot of times you may not be the person that stands up and speaks on it, but you hope someone is in tune enough for them to understand, like, you might not be in a good place, right? I hope you see me for me. I hope you see me for my problems, what I'm going through, etc. So it was about me, but it's also about people around me, things they're going through and shit like that. So yeah, it was important for me. And then obviously it was like a flip on the whole like Hope You See Me art gallery, and just capturing different moments of the album, inspiration from each song, what that looks like in the form of visual art. And so that's how I sort of brought it together. But yeah, it was my moments, it was my friends' moments, etc. Because as you start to progress and you grow a platform, like, you're responsible for telling your stories, but you're also responsible for telling the people around you stories, because not everybody's an artist, not everybody has a platform, etc. So yeah, God gave me this gift, and so I'm trying to use it for a good reason. Mm-hmm. So yeah, absolutely.
Now, speaking of God-given gifts, brother, tell us a little bit about when. How did you start rapping, man? Like, I'm curious about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think I started like interacting with like beats and shit when I was younger. Me and my foster brother, we would like put on beats. We'll download them from LimeWire. Mm-hmm.
They don't know the LimeWire.
Yeah, you're not old enough. But yeah, we're downloading them from LimeWire, like pull it down. It'll be on my mom's computer, mm-hmm. and they would like write raps and shit. Obviously, it was just for fun. I was probably like 9 and 10, but
nice.
Yeah, that's when I did my little shit. And then I freestyle a little bit. One of my sons, Julio, in high school, he used to rap all the time. He had his like little rap book. Now I wasn't really rapping at that point, but sometimes I'll freestyle with niggas if we're walking to the store after school or whatever. Like, for me, rap a little bit.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, just some shit like that. And then when I got to college, I don't know, I felt more of an urge to like write songs. So I actually did make a tape. I don't know, you probably can't find it now, but yeah, I made a tape. Yeah, what the fuck is that shit called? It's called Class Act. It was, so y'all know how Wale did the spin with Seinfeld, like More About Nothing tape. Kind of did that with that movie Class Act with Kid and Play. And I did that album in like maybe a day. But it was just like me writing and rapping and shit like that. That shit was garbage. I didn't like that shit. So I kind of like released on SoundCloud, but I never promoted it. That was like after freshman year. Maybe one of my sons, Russ, like helped me find a studio, and I rapped and whatever. I worked with Vega Ramon on that one. Me and him hopped on the track, and he was on my last project. Hope You See Me. He's on the intro. Yep. Toward the end. That's my man. So yeah, but did that. Took a break. Then after college, came back and did Homecoming. I felt like rap was a great medium to communicate things that may be uncomfortable to communicate in regular conversation, right? Like, it's also just easy to understand, but also past the messaging, you just feel it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like the way I rap, it sounds like I'm literally rapping for my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, like what I'm saying is like, just the emphasis is there, and like you could hear it. So like when I'm saying something, you know I mean it. I'm not just rapping to rap. So I realized I could communicate, one, a lot about myself, two, a lot about my community, and then three, the other way, a lot of what I learned just through life, I could communicate those things to my friends and shit like that, and put the spotlight on them and like help them through whatever it is. So that's why, yeah, it's just like, it just became natural for me. Like, I'm not doing it for like clout, money, or anything like that. Those things will be nice, but that's really not why I'm doing it. And if niggas I grew up with are like, yo, this is fire, I fuck with this, then I won. Like, that's it. I'm lit. Like, that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be anything past that. But yeah, man, that's pretty much the journey in a few sentences.
Speaking of your dudes from home and everything, like, what does it mean to you to be able to kind of be like the 845 rep? I mean, who else has come out of there? You know, I mean, I'm not from here, so I don't know. Like, who else has come out there, and what does that mean to you to put on the 845?
Yeah. So, I mean, in my social media and on my social media profiles, I have like 845. I'm from Newburgh, so I will say Newburgh is just too long to put on social media. So it is dope.
Jacques.
Yeah, for me, like, it's dope to like, for the area, like, to say like, oh, I'm 845.
So what's in 845? Like, what?
So 845 is like, you got Rockland County. So my grandma, she lives in Spring Valley. It's like a lot of Haitians over there. And when my mom came to the country, that's where she lived and that's where she grew up. When she came over from Haiti. So, you know, you have Rockland County, you got Ulster County, which is like, I think Poughkeepsie is up there, shit like that. Then you got Orange County where Newburgh is. So yeah, I mean, that was just some shit where I was like, fuck it, just for the 845, because like, we don't have a lot of big artists and shit come out. So even if you're from Newburgh and niggas see you, for me, doing your thing, and they're from another town or some shit like that, like, they'll support you.
Right.
But growing up, niggas did not like Newburgh niggas. Like, they'll call Newburgh niggas dirty niggas, this, that, and the third. Like, it was a whole thing. Now niggas fuck with us, but it's a little different. So, Parson Fontaine, he's from Newburgh.
Yeah.
And he's probably the biggest artist to come out of town. So yeah, bro, it's pretty cool. And also, we just have, I think niggas is always rapping in Newburgh. Like, niggas always had a community. I think me and some of my friends that do music, like, we're building more of a community and more of a united front. Just because it's easier to get more attention on like the movement when niggas come together. So
Exactly.
niggas drop something, like, we all support it. If niggas shooting a video, we'll all be there, because these aren't just like niggas that, for me, I just met when I started making music. These niggas that I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've known these niggas since we're like 11, 12. Like,
Before the music.
yeah, for me. So now we're 26, 27, 28, niggas got kids and all that shit, and we've been through a lot, but like, those are my men. So yeah, it's dope, bro. I think it's dope to have someone like Party up there, but also niggas that are still up and coming, like us collaborating and doing all that shit brings attention too, especially in the era of social media. So yeah, bro.
So I want to touch on your commitment to the craft. I remember when I interviewed you a couple years ago, you spoke that, you know, one thing you thought you could have worked on after Homecoming was your hook creation. And then we get Hot as Summer with a track like Waste Time, where that was, I remember I played that at an event. People loved it. and then, you know, Quarantine Pack, and just obviously Hope You See Me, like Village. Like, it's so simple, but the theme of it just resonates. So like, you know, now being 4 projects in, like, what do you think is something that you still would like to improve on?
Yeah, I think one thing I'm still working on is, I think, just delivery, but not in the sense of like inflections or how I deliver lines, like, not just that, but how you sort of bring the listener along. Because when you're doing hip hop and you're a lyricist, like, you gotta sort of leave breadcrumbs for listeners, right? Like, you don't want to say some shit that's OD over somebody's head to the point where they're like, I didn't really catch that. You know what I'm saying? I think why Hov was so nice was he really fed niggas lines to the point where niggas thought they were smart when they understood what he was trying to do. You feel what I'm saying?
Honestly,
like,
though.
Yeah.
I think Cole does the same thing where it's like, yo, people say like, oh, you gotta be smart to get this, that. But he's like crafted his lyrics in a way that you feel smart when you get it. So one way is just how, like, I'm being very, very particular around how I put lines together where like it won't just be some shit where I'm like, oh nah, I body this, or like my engineer's like, oh yeah, that's good work, or like someone that's into music is like, yo, that's a fine line. But it's like, yo, if I'm just an everyday nigga that puts this on, like, am I gonna think this is OD clever, OD fire? And if I just have to switch words around or like sub shit out, then I'll do it. So I think my revision stage is like is more in depth now. And sometimes you just gotta write certain songs to get to the better songs.
You gotta write the bad songs out.
You gotta write the bad songs out, bro. Like
you do.
You just write it. Like sometimes I just write this shit. I'll do writing drills just to get the shit out. And then I'm like, all right, I bet now I can make the real songs. Because it's nothing to write a bad song. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Nobody's gonna hear it.
Exactly.
Like it's fine. So that's one thing I'm more comfortable with. And then also letting shit come naturally. I think I was reading this shit, which kind of described my space between the project I'm working on now and Hope You See Me, which is like when creativity comes about, you sort of gotta treat it like a cat. Like you can't go straight to the cat and try to pick it up. You gotta wait till the cat comes to you, and then when it does come to you, then you pick it up, and then you know what I mean, you do whatever. So I feel like not forcing creativity, writing when I feel inspired and feel creative, that shows up in the music way better. Like, because you can write a really good album, a classic album in a couple weeks, in a day, whatever. Like when you're the most inspired, take advantage of that. Whether it's music, art, whatever the fuck it is, like whenever you're most inspired, leaning into that, take advantage of that moment and making sure it doesn't go to waste. Because when you're not inspired, people are gonna be able to tell. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're making music that's supposed to move people. So yeah, bro, those are the things I'm working on now.
What is something that you, how to describe it? We've talked about with Eric Penn, we talked about a little bit about how he finds peace in knowing when a song is done or when he can kind of move on to the next thing. How do you approach that for yourself, for your lines or your tracks, anything like that?
I mean, so I always send it to a few people that I fuck with. Like I send shit to y'all sometimes, or people whose music opinion I trust.
Right.
And then with me, so before I even write the song, I'll ride around with the beat. Like I'll work out with the beat. I'll drive to the beat. I will like type shit up to the beat just to see if I fuck with the beat alone.
Soaking it.
Because a lot of times if you're a lyricist, like it's okay if like what brings the person to the song is the beat. They might come for the beat, stay with the lyrics, stay for the lyrics, etc. Like that's okay. So when it comes to a song being done, I gotta give it the card test. Like that's automatic. Give it the card test, and I'll just sit with it and I'll live with the song. I'll write notes on it. I'll send it to other people. I'll compile a bunch of notes from different people and then see how it aligns with my notes. Speak with the engineer. I'll probably do that process a few times. Like the next song I'm dropping, like I sent it back and forth to y'all. There's been like 3, 4, 5 mixes because I'm still like living with it. And then when it gets to a point where I'm like, yo, at this point, I know this song cannot be any better. Like I know this is as good as it's gonna get, whether it's the mix, the ad-libs, the lyrics, whatever it is. I'm like, I bet we Gucci. One thing I won't do sometimes though is re-record a whole song like weeks later because my mindset is just not there. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like I wrote that song or I rapped that song when I felt this way the most. So me trying to do it weeks later is not gonna work. Like I learned that the hard way a few times. Like this is gonna be my best delivery. But the things around it, like when you're making a cake, like the cake itself is good, but how's the icing look? How's the frosting? How's the decorations? Like shit like that. So when it comes to the engineering aspect, the mixing and things like that, like how can I present this cake the best way? That's the part I tend to like shift my focus to.
Love that.
So we spoke about Waste Time earlier. I remember you dropped another track in 2019, I believe, Bring You Down. And that was a very experimental house EDM type beat. And it was a very bold endeavor, but I think it came across well. What are some other type of musical explorations that you want to do with your artistry to kind of expand it? Yeah, I think that house hip hop crossover is dope. I'm gonna try to get there again. I don't know, like hip hop just sits well on certain house beats. Like I just, you know what I mean? So like it just hits well. But I don't know. I mean, I think it depends. Like trying to find spaces where it doesn't seem forced. Like one thing that seems forced to me, and this might be off topic, is like a lot of niggas is sampling, especially niggas in New York. Like younger niggas is sampling. It's like everything and putting them on drill beats. Where it's just like, you know what I mean? Like it's just an unnatural crossover. So like I said, the crossover with hip hop and house music, like that makes sense to me. Like that doesn't seem too far away.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm gonna try to get into more, like just experiment with, is just not even Afrobeats, but working with Afrobeats artists. Because a lot of them have a good ear for beats, melodies, etc. So I think that's probably where I lean more towards next. I also think like I don't know if y'all remember, but there was a big like crossover between reggae and hip hop in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Where, you know what I mean? Like niggas would link up and you would hear niggas like Wu-Tang rapping over some, for me, like some Damian Marley song, and Nas and Damian Marley, I think, had that one album and shit like that. So that sort of shit, but doing that with Afro beats, and like the beats have similar drum patterns and shit like that. If you could play with the samples and you could rap on shit like that and then work with Afro beats artists, so it doesn't sound like a ripoff, but it sounds more natural. Like I think one thing that was dope was Ed Sheeran being on Peru. Like that sounded natural. You know what I mean? That shit is hard. This nigga went crazy because he immersed himself. Like he didn't sound out of place. So finding a way to talk about it and shit like that before I even get in the studio, like what do y'all look for, like what sort of beats do y'all like, shit like that. Just find the chemistry. So when I do it, it sounds natural. That's why I liked about Hold It Down. It was just like sound natural. I wasn't forcing anything. I just kind of did it and it flowed. So I was like, fuck it. I didn't even really think it was. I thought the beat had bounce. I didn't even think it was really like a house song until I was like, this shit could go crazy. You know what I mean? And that was one of my most streamed songs. That's just some shit that I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Man.
So I know we've all had conversations with you, and like, so a lot of rappers romanticize the I quit my job and I pursued this rap shit and I made it happen, and obviously those stories are amazing. But for you, you've been committed to the full-time job thing and also the full-time rapping thing, and you've worked at some incredible places. I don't want to disclose it, but if you want to talk about that, go for it. So like, what do you feel like that experience of maintaining a 9-to-5 or beyond the 5 part, and then also committing to your craft, what do you feel like that's done for you as a person, and how have each thing helped one another?
I mean, I think plain and simple, I think Reason, who's on TDE, he said it best. He was like, yo, music and rap is a pay-to-play game. Like, it's pay-to-play. So I'm lucky enough where I can get bread right now the legal way. But niggas was doing other things to get bread, to pay for studio time. For me, like, I'm not going to run down the list. Y'all can use your imagination. Niggas was doing whatever to get bread to do that. You feel what I'm saying? So however way you get bread, you need to get bread to play in this game of music, because you gotta pay for the beat, you gotta pay for studio time, you gotta pay to get it mixed, you gotta pay for the cover art, you gotta pay for the visuals. Where you getting the bread from? You know what I'm saying? Like, where you getting the bread from? So for me, it's working and getting to a place where I'm not just like financially, like the music isn't just paying for itself, but I'm making a profit on top of that. So I can cover the cost and then I'm making a profit. When I get to that space, then I'll do it full time. But until then, like when it comes to finances, I want like that piece, but also just the way America is, where like you gotta save bread, you gotta invest, you gotta build a financial foundation. So when it's time, like you have a secure space to lean into your passion. So I have no problem doing that shit, even if it like might be inconvenient sometimes, or I might stay up late sometimes, or whatever. Like I'd rather that than having to worry about what I'm doing next for this, or like not being able to pursue my passion to its fullest extent. Because a lot of this is like you gotta pay for studio time, shit like that, but like presenting the music itself, that costs bread, bro. Like
OD.
And I don't like doing half-ass shit. Like I don't want to ever put out something that I'm not extremely proud of. So I don't want to sell myself short by not being able to fund my music. Like whether it's being able to pay for like a visualizer on IG or something like that. Like even the gallery, like I made bread on the gallery and I got the bread back plus some, but I had to put up my own bread for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
of course,
to make that shit come alive and
take money and make money.
Yeah, it takes money to make money, and that shit is pay to play. And one thing I always respect about Kanye was like, yo, when it came to putting like on shows and productions and shit like that, like he didn't spare a dime. I don't know what the numbers look like financially, like if it was a sound investment, but I remember for the Watch the Throne tour, Hov was like, yo, I'm trying to like, calm it down, like, but yeah, it was like, yo, it's a tour. Like you got to give these people a show. Like spend the money. And yeah, you just gotta be willing to put up the bread. However you get the bread, get it. If you can't work, do what you gotta do.
You gotta figure something out.
And there's no shame in that. For me, and outside of music, whatever passion you have, like sometimes your 9 to 5 or whatever job you have has to fund the passion, and that's completely okay. Like talk to any creative, like that's doing the creative shit full time. They probably had a job at some point. I don't know what the shit was. They had a job. Like niggas got to eat at the end of the day. There's no shame in that. And however you want to present it to the world, you can keep on the hush hush or whatever. Like I would never be too prideful to pick up a job or find a different way to get bread. For me. No,
I feel that. That's on point. So let's talk a little bit more about, because of that, the thing that you've been dabbling in. Our brother's hand is in many pots, different places. Had to watch Jacques as a kid. He had his hand in everything. But so tell us about your involvement in the tech space, Web3 space, the NFT space, and how you've been connecting that with your artistry.
Yeah. So I one thing I learned about putting that like gallery together for my last project, Hope You See Me, I liked the crossover and interconnectivity between different disciplines of art.
Yes.
So like one time I like drew a Venn diagram and basically highlighted within each circle like what that may be. So one was like fashion, one was sports, one was music, whatever, and highlighting the different crossovers and seeing what space I wanted to play in for this next project. And so that's why the rollout was more holistic. So I thought the gallery idea while I was writing the project.
Yeah, I remember.
Because I was like, so I had a conversation with Ebe, who's J. Cole's manager and head of Dreamville. And we was grabbing lunch. I was out in LA and he was just like, yo, honestly, you're in a great space right now because you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like,
I've heard that a few times, yeah.
You can do whatever you want. He said, me and Cole, we're jealous of niggas like you because, like that's the fun part. Like, that's the fun part of the journey. There's nobody telling you what to do. There's no expectations. Y'all can just do whatever. For me, so after that, I was like, facts. I really can. Like, I can really do whatever I want. And it's going to be some dope. It's going to be some fly shit. So that's why I started doing that. And then while I was creating the idea and like sort of segmenting it and putting some structure around it, that's when I realized I really do have a passion for like music and tech. I think there's a lot of intersection there. And so I think the NFT craze started up back in like March 2021. Some shit there like NBA Top Shot, a bunch of NFT platforms. I thought it was dope. So there are two things that are dope to me. One was the ability to create monetization pipelines for Black artists. I think that's super fire. Like to the point where you won't ever have, if everyone moves to Web3. And for those that don't know, Web3 is just like the next iteration of the internet. So Web 1 was I think just searches, like being able to like Google shit. Web 2 was like social media, Instagram, whatever. And then Web 3 is the next iteration where everything is decentralized. Not everything sits on one main server. And it's just like a different level of interconnectivity and social interaction. So, what's dope about the Web3 space, specifically like blockchains and NFTs, is like Black artists being able to like earn on their art and earn on their passion, which I think for a while was reserved for a certain level of artists. So from like Drake's to Kendrick's, whatever, to be able to like earn like a good amount to like be able to feed your kids and shit like that, that was dope to me. Another thing that's dope, and it's a feature of blockchain, is that because it's a public ledger, nobody can really refute the details of like your masters, your contract, your splits, whatever. Once I say like, oh, I'm gonna mint this NFT in this song, I can say, yo, I'm receiving 20% royalties on every transaction after this. So once I sell it, someone can sell it again. I'm doing it
20,
again. Feel me? And it's just sad when I see like artists still going to war with like older artists. I'm not even talking about new niggas. I'm talking about older like legends that are still arguing with labels over masters and shit like that. Where if they had blockchain at that point, like they just wouldn't have to. But that wasn't the circumstance at that point. They did what they could. Yeah. But like now, there's an opportunity to create and develop a space that puts artists and creatives first, specifically Black artists and creatives. where it's just like, yo, we can, one, create these monetization pipelines and get money consistently, but two, like create the rules and really feed and lean into super fans, because those are the ones that are gonna build and sort of develop your NFT community. So that's one thing that's dope to me. It's that crossover, and like I said, I just love that crossover between like visual art and music. So it's just like a perfect space for me to play in, and I'm dope to see. It's gonna be dope to see what I'm able to do with this next project.
For those who go ahead.
No.
I was saying, for those who feel like they don't know where to start, like artists who's like, dang, I see that NFT, I see y'all getting the bread. Where do I start with even the resources, or just like how do I get to it?
Yeah. So one, if you call me, just hit me. We could chop it. I could feel me like
For those who aren't cool with you,
yeah. For those who aren't cool with me, I'm trying to think. So the best way to go about it is, I know a lot of people say research, but that is the best way. I think OpenSea, which is one of the biggest NFT marketplaces, they have like a bunch of like research articles where they basically tell you like, yo, what's an NFT? What's crypto? What's blockchain? Etc. So once you get that foundational knowledge of like, yo, what's this? What's this? So when people use those words, it's like, oh, I know what this is, I know what this is. I would just say, yo, sign up for a lot of these marketplaces, OpenSea, Rarible, Super Rare, whatever. Get your crypto wallet, etc. And then just do. Like, like a lot of this is like people are talking about and shit like that. And I know it's like, I know for me, before I started working on my own shit, I was like, yeah, but man, where do I even start? Like, it's kind of scary. Like, I see people doing this, but you know when you see niggas jumping in the pool and you don't want to jump in yet?
Yeah.
Bro, the best thing you can do in this space is to just do it. Because a lot of the niggas that are winning are niggas that are doing it. Don't just talk about the shit. Like,
they're just
do it. And then you figure it out as you go, too. Because it's such a new space, there's no one that's going to be like, oh, you could have dropped that like this, or like you could have, nigga, you don't even know what you're really doing all the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no, like, because right now for like DSPs, niggas be like, oh, you should have done a DistroKid because of XYZ. You should have done it on United Masters because of XYZ. No one can really say that all out. Like, someone might be like, oh, you should have waited to mint this when the gas fee was a little lower. Like, maybe you could try open. But people are very helpful right now. Like, there's a whole community of niggas that are like, yo, one, I will support you with money and shit like that when you drop your NFT. But also, if you have questions, let's talk about it. Like, yo, you think this could be better? Like even the founders of a lot of these marketplaces, like more of the smaller ones, they'll have conversations on Discord where like they're like, yo, how can we better serve you? Right? Because they understand that this is based on the creators and shit like that. So I say after your research, think of ideas. Think of how you want to package shit too when it comes to NFTs. Because how you show up in that market can be completely different from how you show up on like IG, Twitter, and shit like that. Like you might have a whole different persona on that. Like what do you see working? And then just try shit, bro. Like I saw crazy the other day. Some dude, I forget where he was, it might have been in Indonesia, but he was basically taking selfies of himself from the ages of like 16 to like 24. And this was before NFTs, but then he started selling each selfie as NFT. Pretty sure he made like 10 M's. Yeah, this shit. Word to my mother, bro. This shit really happened. Like, yo, that shit really happened. So it's just like the niggas that are winning are the niggas that are doing it. Like, be fearless in this space, because right now it's a wild, wild west, and like nobody, like niggas know what they're doing, and there are people that are way more informed than others, but there are no set rules. Like, until these big corporations move into this space, they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. Like, they're still trying to figure shit out. They don't even, you know what I'm saying? Trust me, they're still trying to figure shit out. So it's like, I wouldn't be afraid of any judgment or anything like that. Like, people are there to help at this point in time. So yeah, I'll just do this shit, bro.
Just do it. Just do it, yeah.
Yeah, I do love seeing how communal the NFT space is, because I think in life, whether it's music, whether it's anything, like a lot of people don't want to share information. They don't want to pay it forward. They don't want to put people on game. And so kind of like to transition, who is someone or multiple people that have kind of like mentored you throughout your career, like musically or also just in life?
Yeah. So a few people, I think in the past couple of years, Che Pope has been a good, just like music mentor. Not like he put me on a lot of game about the industry and shit like that. But in terms of music, he's been a great mentor. He he's a producer by trade, but he ran good music for a little bit with Ye. And yeah, he produced and wrote on Miseducation, Lauryn Hill, and a bunch of other shit. Like he's like a OG for me, OG producer. But in terms of so he built this company called Workshop that focuses on putting creators first. I wouldn't really say it's a label. It's more of like a artist helper incubator type of model. But during those stages, me and him got cool, and yeah, musically. His ear is just crazy. Like you got to think this nigga works for everybody. For me, like anybody you think of, he's worked with them. So any critiques on like, oh yo, what do you think about this beat, or what do you think about this? And he'll tell you like, beat is like, yeah, I fuck with the rappers, or like, change this, or like maybe I got this. Like he'll help on that front, which is super dope. And yeah, I think he's been the biggest help, especially when it came to like my last project. It's been a good mentor and just a cool dude, like very down to earth. Like if I need to just talk to him about some music shit, like he'll always answer. So yeah, good dude.
You've been alluding to the next project a lot, and like I said before, Homecoming was very personal, kind of your introduction to us, and then Hottest Summer was just good music, very fun, very good for the summertime, and then Quarantine Pack was just like, I'm gonna just get these looses off. It was kind of like your care package, almost like Dre's care package. And then Hope You See Me was very heavy, personal, thematic. So like, what's your approach to this next project? What's your mindset? What are the stories that you're trying to tell with the next project?
Yeah, so I think I'm still gonna lean into the hip hop visual art shit. Obviously, it's gonna be in the Web3 space,
as it should be.
Yeah,
right?
We'll see how it shows up.
Yeah.
But I think conceptually. So when I start a project like that, I kind of write out like what the plot is. Like in novels that niggas read in grade school, the protagonist and the main character would like learn something.
Yeah.
Right? Like he'd go through the little journey through the book, and then the nigga would learn something. So I always write out like when I'm putting out a project, what should the listener learn from me? What did I learn through this journey, etc. And then from that point, once I have the concept down, then I sort of build the skeleton out. Like the songs aren't written, there's no names. I just build a skeleton out to describe each part of the journey. And then from that point, I start like sliding things in, or I start just writing shit, listening to beats, whatever. Because now I have a North Star. Like now I know what I'm working towards. So even if I'm not working towards it consciously, subconsciously, I know I'm writing towards this concept, this theme. So it's gonna sound cohesive. It's gonna sound together. Even if the songs sound like their own thing. So yeah, so right now I'm working through that stage. I'm definitely in a good place in terms of progress on the project. And then because I'm thinking about the rollout at the same time, it's kind of like working on two things at once, which makes it more fun. Like one, the rollout sort of, I don't like when a rollout informs the song making too much, because then you can get to a space where like you're trying to only write shit that's marketable or that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just like a little bit, like how can this sort of like lean into the rollout concept a little bit more? We're really trying to build a rollout that covers and is tailored to the project. So yeah, right now I'm just writing a lot. I'm in the studio, and lately I've been in the studio with more people. Like I used to just go to the studio by myself, but now I just go with more people, and I think that collaborative culture is fire, especially with niggas that you fuck with. So yeah, I think the following winter was when I write my best music. So I don't think the next project is going to be as heavy. I think it'll be like a lot of rapping. Like I think people's favorite tracks on last year was shit where I was just like rapping, just rapping. So I'm trying to get back to that. A lot of stories I'm trying to tell are just shit that I've observed over the past year and a half. Shit about me, about my community, people around me, shit like that. Helping tell their stories and shit like that, which is something I'll always do. But for me, like life continues every day, so it'll always be something new. Like, what's the next thing? Like, and then also trying to think more like at a higher level. Like, what are things that we're all going through together? Like, one thing that Drake always does well, and that I always give him compliments for, is being able to understand what like the average Gen Z and millennial might be going through, and then up-leveling it. So when you hear it in a song, like you're like, oh, I'm going through that. Like making it general enough where like anybody can relate to it. I don't think I'm there yet. I still think I'm making songs for the people I care about, and there's nothing wrong with that. But making it so it's for the people I care about, but then also for someone who just heard this song out of nowhere and is like, yo, damn, I felt that. Like, oh, damn, that's crazy. So yeah, that's at the space. That's the space where I'm in right now. It's just like a lot of rapping. I think also just adding more depth to the music, where it's like you feel like you're stepping into like a cinematic universe type shit, which it was something I think I did well in the last one, but am gonna continue to do on this next one, which it's exciting.
Yes, sir. Sir, I love it.
So I always ask this to our guests who come on Busy Sessions. If you had to make a Jacques Laine Essentials playlist, music you want people to hear that would kind of help them get to know you, the artist, since we're alphas, what are the 7 songs that you would put on a Jacques Laine Essentials playlist? I think I know one for sure.
Yeah. So I definitely put Never Lost It.
Yep.
Never Lost It. So that was the first track I made when I like really started taking rapping seriously. I just wrote it mad fast. Dougie on the beat. He produced it, but I didn't know him yet, which is actually mad funny because so I heard the Nic Bucks, he from Harlem. I heard him rap on that. So I was like, oh, I fuck with this. I'm gonna just freestyle to it. I was laying on my couch one day. It was right after I graduated. I was laying. I was doing another. I'm gonna just write to this. And I was like, oh, I might take it to the studio. I might rap. So I tried to rap when I was in Philly one time, when I was getting my stuff. I wasn't really fucking with it. So then I was like, fuck it. So I had my mans up. I was like, yo, wait, you record that? And I ended up recording it there. And yeah, this shit came out how it came out. But I ended up meeting Dougie on the beat like sometime later. And he actually did send me beats and he produced Bring You Down. And then he said some shit. He was like, yo, I heard this. He said, yo, this is my beat when he heard Never Lost It. I said, oh, her? I said, that's crazy. But yeah, this beat you play right now is fine. Let's focus on that. Don't dwell on the past. But yeah, so Never Lost It. Definitely first. Check In. It was definitely some shit where I felt like, yo, the hook and the rapping are like at the same level. That's when my hooks got better. Hold It Down, definitely, because that was a big track for me. Definitely a big crossover. Generational Curses was big for me because that was the first time I felt like I spoke on like the Haitian culture that I grew up with too. Because I'm from New York, obviously. Come on, but
Are you dumb?
You know? But the Haitian side too, because that's part of me. Like that's some shit where like if you're Haitian, you get it. So I was big for me and I was super emotional. Darkness was super emotional too. Super vulnerable. Definitely an essential. I'm trying
Two
to
more.
think. Yo, Tables Turn. Only because that was the first intro I had where I felt like I was really just rapping on some like, fuck it, let me just rap my ass off and go. I think Rugby might be the last one.
Okay.
Because I was gritty and that was some shit where it's like, I felt like I took a time machine back to like when I was in 9th grade and just rapped. And then I linked up with Corey Finesse for that one, which was fire. I think at that point he's probably the biggest artist I collabed with. So that's probably what I put in the Essentials playlist. Probably covers the spectrum and my versatility. So yeah,
Love it.
Okay. Great. So definitely looking forward to the project. You've been at a pretty consistent release rate the last 4 years. You think you come in 2022 or?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
22. One project at least, and then some dope, like a dope rollout. Like,
Yes, sir.
like the project itself. Like I said, when you're inspired, like the shit will come together. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna say it's easy to make it. It's actually pretty difficult to put projects together. There's a lot of time and energy, but a lot of the art and the science is around how you present it to people. Yeah. So yeah, I would say expect a dope project, but expect a dope rollout too when it's time.
Perfect.
And 22, man.
Excellent. Wow. We're looking forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacques Laine here. Now, you enjoyed a great interview, but there's more for you. The man performed 2 records for you, and the man raps. like he says in the freestyle, I really rap, and that is something that you will get from the performance. So make sure that you tap in, tell your friends to subscribe to the YouTube channel for this YouTube exclusive interview. This is Busy Sessions, episode 3. Armon here, Kombucha King that makes your heart sing, Nic Earley, the Haitian sensation that I've coined him myself, my guy Jacques Laine. Y'all make sure y'all enjoy the performance.